Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Reacher's original author has made some revelations about the return of certain characters, which almost confirms Roscoe will never be seen again in the series. Based on Lee Child's Killing Floor, Reacher Season 1 loyally adapted its source material and introduced characters like Roscoe and Finlay from the original book. Unfortunately, similar to the novel, Reacher Season 1's ending showed how, despite feeling attached to Roscoe and starting a romantic relationship with her, Jack Reacher parted ways with the female character in the season's final arc. After Reacher Season 2 featured a Finlay cameo, many viewers could not help but hope that Willa Fitzgerald's Roscoe would also return at some point. However, so far, even after 3 seasons, Roscoe has not been featured in the series after Season 1's finale. While only time will tell whether Reacher's future installments will feature her again, Lee Child has made some intriguing admissions about character reappearances that make Roscoe's reappearance even more unlikely. In an interview via Forbes, Lee Child opened up about how leaving female characters behind in the Jack Reacher books is always a bittersweet experience for him. He said that every time he writes a female character in the original books, he falls hopelessly in love with them and feels bitterly disappointed when the book finishes and he has to let them go. At the same time, however, he justified this creative decision by adding that it works for both the books and the series. He said that he felt bad when he finished writing Persuader because it meant he had to leave Duffy behind. Despite this, though, he agreed that all Reacher seasons, so far, have had an outstanding love interest, and Duffy is one of them. Lee Child's comments on not keeping female characters around for the long haul highlight how he, too, understands why audiences find it hard to let go of characters like Roscoe long after their story arcs conclude. However, the fact that he logically justifies his creative decision suggests that he and the show's creators have no reason to change this narrative trope. When Finlay briefly appeared in Reacher Season 2 to help the titular Alan Ritchson character with his central case, it was hard not to believe that even Roscoe would return at some point. Toward Season 2's closing arcs, she was even mentioned when Neagley teased Reacher about his past relationship with her. However, unlike its predecessor, Reacher Season 3 completely avoids making any references to Roscoe or any of Jack Reacher's previous romantic interests. The season's romantic storyline primarily revolves around the main character's brewing relationship with Duffy before that, too, reaches its inevitable end. Reacher Season 3 also subtly establishes that between Seasons 2 and 3, the Alan Ritchson character has been in many casual relationships without committing to any women he has been with. Since Reacher Season 3 has already established that the titular character has come a long way from his relationship with Roscoe, it seems unlikely that Season 4 will try to bring her back. By adapting a new book, Reacher Season 4 will also likely introduce a new love interest for the character, leaving no room for Roscoe's return. Even from a narrative standpoint, Roscoe's return would not make sense. The Amazon Prime Video detective series has been widely successful because it closely adapts its source material. If Roscoe returns, the show will risk drifting too far from the books, which would cause more harm than good. Given how Reacher seems to have moved on from his relationship with Roscoe, her presence in Season 4 would not fit the established narrative. By adapting a new book, Reacher Season 4 will also likely introduce a new love interest for the character, leaving no room for Roscoe and Duffy were interesting additions to the show's roster. Roscoe arguably remains Reacher's best love interest so far. Dixon and Reacher's relationship felt more like unfinished business because Reacher refused to have any romantic associations with her when they were in the military. Similarly, the character's relationship with Duffy also seemed like a brief, fleeting fling where they only got romantically involved because of the intense circumstances surrounding their case. With Roscoe, however, Reacher almost seemed to have genuine feelings. Even while parting ways with her, Reacher confessed that she was the only person who could make him stay back in Margrave, which is the opposite of what he expresses to Duffy and Tixon. The two characters' romantic relationship from Reacher Season 1 also feels like an unresolved chapter because Roscoe was unwilling to let go. She even wrote her number on a Clark bar wrapper, hoping Reacher would contact her again. Unlike Roscoe, Duffy and Dixon willingly accepted the end of their journeys with Reacher. Duffy even called things off before Reacher could tell her about his lifestyle choices and how they prevented him from committing to long-term relationships. Roscoe, in contrast, seemingly held on to some hope in Reacher Season 1's ending, which makes one expect that she will cross paths with the Alan Ritchson character again in a future season. Guy have to leave them. Reacher authors into Reacher's more vulnerable side, while also highlighting Roscoe's resolve. However, in the ever-evolving landscape of storytelling, decisions must be made about character trajectories, especially as the plot ventures deeper into uncharted territories. Child's comment about leaving specific characters behind speaks to the necessities of pacing and plot development. Adaptations must at times contract narratives to maintain focus and coherence. As the series aims to capture the essence of the books, it must also address the expectations of viewers who create their own narratives around beloved characters. Much like an artist who must sometimes destroy parts of a masterpiece to create a new vision, Child appears to recognize that the adaptability of characters must serve a greater purpose. In Die Trying Asterisk, the second book in the Reacher series, Roscoe has a limited role compared to the first novel, Killing Floor Asterisk. The narrative pivots away from her, enhancing Reacher's solitary persona while introducing new characters that challenge and shape his trajectory. Fans may lament the absence of Roscoe, but Lee Child's choice speaks to a fundamental narrative principle. Stories evolve, characters shift, and not every plotline can remain intact. It's the natural progression of storytelling, a transition that, while difficult, propels the narrative forward. But one has to wonder, what does this mean for Roscoe's fans? The emotional investment in her character is undeniably strong. Viewers watch her evolve, grapple with moral dilemmas, and undoubtedly hope for a return in the coming seasons. There's a visceral attachment that blooms from seeing a character navigate a world fraught with danger alongside a formidable companion like Reacher. The notion that she may be left behind feels like losing a part of the narrative thread that many have come to cherish. In the world of adaptations, successful character retention often hinges on audience engagement. For Roscoe, this has been manifest in merchandise, social media discussions, and fan art that showcases her character in new dimensions. Her absence would reverberate through the fan community and reshape the discourse surrounding the show. Could there be room for Roscoe to make a triumphant return, or is her exit from the story an inevitability marked by the unyielding nature of adaptation? Child's admission isn't merely about leaving a character behind. It serves as a reminder of the profound complexity of storytelling. While fans are often drawn to the comfort of familiar characters, the truth is that stories require movement, change, and evolution. Just as Reacher travels from one setting to another, encountering new truths and riddles, the narrative must also evolve past the characters we love. Yet, hope is a formidable companion in every narrative, especially for passionate fans. Just as Reacher encounters shifting landscapes, so too can we. Perhaps Roscoe's absence will pave the way for new experiences and character development that enrich the narrative. Alternatively, the potential for her return, though dimmed by Child's comments, might remain an opening for future seasons, a glimmer of possibility that keeps fans invested. In examining this conundrum, it is essential to recognize the meta-narrative that surrounds adaptations. The relationship between an author and their characters is intimate, often filled with conflict and reconciliation. Child's decision to let go of Roscoe, albeit momentarily, may be his way of honoring the larger narrative arcs that define Reacher as a traveler whose journey through justice is paramount. The upcoming seasons of Reacher promise to delve deeper into its thrilling exploration of morality, justice, and the human experience. Though Roscoe may not occupy the forefront of this exploration, fans can take solace in the fact that her essence, her strength, resilience, and the very character that resonated with them will always linger in the landscape of Reacher's journey. Sometimes, the most effective way to honor a beloved character is to let them stand back, allowing the protagonist to grapple with his convictions, challenges, and identities. In the end, as we navigate through Lee Child's thrilling world with Reacher and his cohorts, we revel in every twist and turn. As readers and viewers, we must temper our expectations with the acceptance that stories are, in their essence, not only about who is present, but the emotional and narrative threads they leave behind. The future holds many unknowns, and perhaps one day, the signs will align for Roscoe to grace our screens once more. Until then, we continue our journey through the intense, gripping, and often unpredictable world of Jack Reacher.